Here we have the Wyze Band application. It is part of the overall Wyze app itself, so it's kind of integrated in here with all the other things. Wyze bulbs, Wyze plugs, Wyze sensors, their cameras, but we're going to click right on our Wyze Band at the top. If you haven't synced your device, you'll see that at the top. It quickly does a check to see if it syncs. You've got several screens that we're going to talk about. First, being in the upper right hand corner, are 3 dots here. This will allow us to check information on our band. Here we can see battery life is at 70%. Device name is Wyze Band, but you can always change that if you wanted to. Health data will show body type, year born, height, and weight. So little personal information, I'm going to skip that for now. Device information will show you firmware, Bluetooth address, all that fun stuff. Here you have your Alex A authorization. So right here you can see I do have it synced up. You can report an issue, you can see the user guide, and you can run in the background. Now, the problem with this is you do need to actually run the Wyze app in the background in order to access a lot of the more interesting features of the Wyze Band. Here you can see it's actually showing you, it knows what my phone is, so it's a Google phone. This is still my Google Pixel 2. So that is our device information from our 3 dots there. Starting on our main screen here, you can see this is mirroring what you actually have on the Wyze Band. Clicking on your page here will show you what your clock face is. You can change the font colors right here. You can see just by clicking right here. I'm going to leave it on this blue one. You can change the display layout. So right now I have it on this, but if you want bigger clock, smaller, I mean, you've got a plethora of choices. I like having the time, date, and these steps. You can also change your background. So right now I chose that one. This is the default one. There you've got some other options. We're going to change it to that one for now. But you also have the option of more. Clicking more will allow you to just have a unichrome or unicolor theme, or you can choose a photo from your album. Now, you can either take a photo with your phone right now, or you can use it from the gallery. Problem with the gallery is that it's only photos that are on the phone itself. So if you use a service like Google Photos, you will not be able to actually pull from there. You have to use something that is on the phone itself. So that's our clock face. In the upper right hand corner, you would select Save to keep it. But I'm not going to, so I'm just going to discard the changes that I made. Moving down, we have our activity. Now you'll notice on the left-hand side, as I'm changing, we're moving down this options bar on the left as well. So here we have our activity. If I select activity, it's going to give you a rundown of activity. Well, once it loads, because it's synced some data, so it's taking its sweet time. There we go. So here you can see, this is my 7-day outlook for my steps. I can do a 30-day, a month. But since I'm at the start of a month for May, there's not really data. But if I come back here to April, you can see I've got lots of data. Now, clicking on these will give you a rough estimation, steps and the mileage. Sadly, since we're all on lockdown and I work remotely and sit in front of a computer for like 12 hours out of the day now, I'm not really walking as much as I used to, which is a little sad. Coming across, we've got calories. Again, I'm going to pop back to April since that's where most of my data has come from. So here it'll give you a rough calorie estimation. Sleep. Now we're going to pop back again to April, and I'm leaving this on the 30-day because the 7-day kind of looks like that. So I did find if you do not wear the band, which is helpful, it does not record sleep. But if you have it on, it will record this. So you can see the dark blue is deep sleep, the light blue is light sleep, and then you have wake time being this orangish brown. Now, the one thing I do not like is it will tell you 8 hours, 50 minutes of sleep roughly. You went to bed around this time and woke up around this time, which is about right. But I wish that, you see here where I had very little deep sleep and a lot of light sleep. I wish that clicking on these would actually kind of give you an estimation saying you have this many hours of light sleep, or you have this many hours of deep sleep. On the band itself, you kind of get an idea of when those time periods were, but I figured if you have more screen real estate on your screen here, that they can add that kind of stuff. Wish they would do it, but what are you going to do? Heart rate, again, so this is just a randomization heart rate. So here I actually was doing some exercise, which is my heart rate was so spiky. But yeah, it'll give you your min, your max, and you can kind of see the average going through there. Again, all of these have the 7 and 30-day outlook. Run. So this would be history of running. Sadly, again, because I'm on lockdown, there's not really a place that I can go to run right now. But if you had any run history, it would be in here. Moving on, we have shortcuts. Now, shortcuts are things that you set up for the Wyze account. In my case, I have 2 available shortcuts that I've already created. One for turning off my Wyze cam that's in my living room, and then for turning it on. So I can do that at the push of a button. If I wanted to, I can add those shortcuts to the Wyze Band. Now, you only have slots of 5. So right now I'm using 2 of 5. I can reorder these. Ooh, move that away. I can reorder these however I want, or I can remove them by clicking the minus sign next to them. You can also create a new shortcut, which will bring you pretty much into the rule creation screen, which is outside of the Wyze Band portion of the app, but takes you into the other areas that I've covered in other videos for the actual creation, which I'll throw a card up here now so you can check that out if you want. So after shortcuts, you have running. So again, you can select different options for your running. So notify me every mile, screen always on, which I currently have off, and receive notifications on or off. Now, in my case, I have it off, but if you were to use this and have notifications while you're running, you can still get text messages from your boss who just won't leave you alone and does not understand the concept of office hours. Next, you have alarms. Selecting alarms will allow you to set alarms. You can have 6 alarms, so there are 2 that come by default, and then 1 that I added right here, which is supposed to be the end of my workday, but like I said, just really isn't these days. You can add an alarm by clicking the add alarm at the bottom, and you just scroll through your times, and then you can select repeat never, or days of the weeks that you wish this to repeat, and then you can label your alarm. In my case, we are going to cancel and discard changes because we don't want to keep any of this. Coming down, we have our weather selection. So here you can see weather. You have set automatically based on your location. You can have a current city, which you can put in yourself if you're not in that location, temperature in Fahrenheit or Celsius, and then daily weather reminder, which will push a forecast every night at 10 p.m. There is a slight weather delay in updating the information. So normally I have it on, set location automatically, but I don't actually want to show you my location. Coming down, heart rate, just that. It will show you your heart rate data. So here's my heart rate for today, May 1st, April 30th. I wish that they had a monthly chart here. Would be nice. Here you can see periodic detection. By default, it is set to detect every 10 minutes. That could be changed to as low as 5 minutes or all the way up to 60 minutes in between intervals. Coming down, you have Find. What this is the Find My Band. So if I click on this and I select Find Band, hopefully you can hear that. I actually have the Wyze Band in the hand that I'm holding the phone in right now. It buzzes the Wyze Band. Now the thing is, there are no speakers in the Wyze Band itself. So what that means is you have to listen very carefully for a little vibrating motor. Hope you have it on a hard surface or that it's not buried in a couch cushion, because then it will be very difficult to find. Next you have settings. Selecting settings will show you rise and wake time, which can be altered. So you have rise to wake, which is flipping the Wyze Band into a observing position, which will automatically turn on the watch face. And then you have the start time of 7 a.m. and an end time of 11:59 p.m., which are things that I can set up, which you can set up. Now, I will say this isn't the greatest. The wake feature, the rise to wake feature works okay, but I have had the band go off when it's supposed to not go off in the middle of the night and blind my wife, so she does not appreciate that. Show battery level, you can select this on or off. That's the little battery indicator on the Wyze Band itself. Wrist, which wrist are you going to wear this on, left or right? So it kind of helps it figure out your stepping sequence. Slide upward to unlock. So that's just an extra feature that you have to touch and slide up in order to actually work with the Wyze Band, which I thought would be a good feature. It is a good feature, but not as responsive as I would hope, because I do tend to get false swipes on it. Notifications. So these are anything that you want to push to the band itself. Most of these work okay. Phone calls, text messages, Wyze alerts. You also have other notifications, which is down here at the bottom, other applications. right now I have a few selected. And let me swipe through these really quickly, see if I can find it, because it was, yeah. Hangouts doesn't work at all. Smart Dry, which I did a review up in the corner there, works okay. I get them 50% of the time. MMS messages, or multimedia text type messages, do not get pushed. So they're still working on it, I hope, because originally any of these other applications, you used to just get a message that said, we'll notify you when Google Play approves this. We'll notify. So it's not early days, because I've waited almost 3 weeks now to review this. So I kind of was hoping that they'd get that pushed out a little faster, but notifications are hit or miss based on other reviews that I've seen too. Do not disturb smart mode. So what this is you will not receive any notifications. If you leave smart mode on, it will figure out when you're actually awake and doing things, or you can set, a fixed time period. So Wyze Band brightness, selecting this, you have 3 dots. You can low, medium, high. I leave it on medium. You also have the ability to change that from the band. You have night mode. So selecting this again, lower screen brightness at certain hours. So for me, I have it starting at 10 p.m. and ending at 7 a.m. So the screen should automatically lower itself to the lowest setting. There is no adaptive light sensor on the band, so this is the only way that you'd be able to have that automatically lower in some way, shape, or form. And then you have your time zone. For me, it's New York because, well, yep, I'm in New York. Here you go. You got reboot device. You can do that from right there. And here we come down to our Alex A settings. So this is pretty much where you would come to actually set up your Alex A integration. Even though you have Alex A set up as part of the Wyze app, you do have to set up a separate toggle to give the band access to that, because there are microphones on the band. Notifications takes us to our notifications area, which we got through our settings. Last but not least, over here on the left-hand side, you've got settings, which is there, and then these two aren't there. However, we can change this left-hand menu. By selecting the plus sign there, we can remove, add, or rearrange these items however we like. So on the band itself, hypothetically, if you want Alex A alerts to be the last thing in your menu structure there, you can just drag and drop. You can also say, well, I don't necessarily need the run because, well, I don't need that right now. Well, there you go. Run gets put down into the more functions, and then it's taken away from your menu here. You can also then just add it and we'll throw it back. Upper right-hand corner, you can save your changes or you can cancel. In my case, I'm just going to cancel for now and discard those changes. So this has been a look at the Wyze Band portion of the Wyze app.